did right by us
Was
once.
that?
Forward for Groundbreaker!
Stay down, Hullhead.
Muting volume now.
Whoa, hold on. Where'd you come from? You from Solitary? Whoa, what was it like out there? Ouch, I bet. Put a boot up some UDL asses for us. That'll get the kinks worked out fast.
Looking sharp. Hey, you joined Polly's pool yet? First to put a bullet in Rockwell gets the whole thing. Great. Good luck, friend.
Something ain't quite right about you. You walk like a stooge. That ain't our way. We don't cooperate with those assholes. We shoot them, beat them, make them die slow like. Well, I guess. Well, shit. You do you.
Assessment. The Labyrinth on Tartarus. Task classification. Easy peasy.
Gotta admit, I'm not too keen on walking into a prison. They lock me up, I'm liable to kill everyone trying to get back out.
Would you like Sam to tidy up this area? Waiting for confirmation command. Confirmation command not received.
What the?
Someone's coming!
Hey, you! Whoa, hold on. Whoa. What was it like out there? Ouch. I bet. Put a boot up some UDL asses for us. That'll get the kinks worked out fast. Good to see you. What was that? Hey, you joined Polly's pool yet? Huh. I like your confidence. What's the plan then? Damn. Fine. Be that way. Ah!
take me. I thought the chasm outside Stellar Bay was deep. This makes me nauseous.
All right, MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So get in there and fight!
Entering quiet mode.
Incoming!
Detected!
I am a storm!
Whoa, hold on. Hey. Fine.
Bill, you're not shooting the chairman, and you're not pissing in his go.
Whoa, hold on. Look, do yourself a favor.
Your uniform has been rated
This is nice. Calm before the storm and all that.
Difficult job ahead? Consider equipping a pack of Sam's special solvent nanotools. It's ruthless on residual blood splatter.
You know, I could have sworn I tested you for hearing loss. Because I did say skip the Hope to Terra 2. Terra 2, not Tartarus. We could have saved this colony, you know. That was always the plan. I revive you, you do as I say. I tell you to go there, get me this, shoot that, and you do as I say. If you'd just listened to me, we could have rescued everyone on the Hope. We could have been the saviors of Halcyon. But you didn't listen. No one in this damn colony ever listens. What? Oh, is this thing not working? Can you hear me now? Oh, wait a minute. You were mocking me. Unbelievable. Look at you, standing there, calm and composed and unflappable as always. Does it please you to see me like this? An old man hanging at the end of his rope. If you think I'm going to admit defeat and throw myself at the mercy of the board, oh, you're wrong. I've still got some fight left in me. I can still bloody your nose. Don't you tell me what to do with my blood pressure. My heart rate is within a perfectly acceptable margin of failure. Don't worry about me. Worry about what I'm willing to do. Oh, I've got nothing to lose. I've got nothing to live for. But I'll tell you what I do have. Oh, I've got a gun. And I've got Adjutant Akande as my hostage. Not bad for an old man, eh? I can't imagine we've got anything left to say. So, you found out. I suppose it's not enough that you ruin my every plan. You must also humiliate me by reminding me of my failures. Yes, I've killed people. Is that what you wanted to hear? I experimented on dozens of the Hope's colonists. Every last one of them died in agony. They were never patients. No, they were just things. Husks of frozen organic matter. It was only when the screaming started that they became people. It always starts with screaming, followed by thrashing, followed by cell death. The average human adult takes 93 seconds to completely liquefy. Stop it. Don't you think I know that? I killed all those colonists. I can never atone for what I've done. My life's work has been an exercise in futility. The only honorable way to end it is to go down fighting. I expect you'll try. I've programmed the Labyrinth's mechanical warden to kill you on sight. I'm sorry to have to do this, but I can't take any chances with you. You were my greatest success, and my greatest disappointment.
Hi.
Thank the law you're here. That madman was out of control. You were right to put him down. He was too far gone to be of any use to us. And what about you? You aren't hurt, I hope. Your confidence is well earned, Captain. I was right to place my faith in you. You've put down the worst riot in our history, rid the colony of a dangerous madman, and saved my life. The board owes you a tremendous debt. We don't have a moment to lose. We're gonna have to work together to save Halcyon, because the situation is far worse than you imagined. What I'm about to tell you must never leave this room, under any circumstances. We've lost all contact with Earth. It's been 3 years since we've received a message. We've had no contact, no signals, nothing. Earth has gone dark. 2 years ago, the Earth Directorate's frigate disappeared en route to Earth. We don't know if they ever made it. We don't know if there's an Earth to go back to.
So we've got to make do on our own. Seems to me that'll make us stronger in the end anyhow.
We must find a way to carry on by ourselves. For better or worse. Halcyon is the only home we have left. We're alone, Captain. That's all I know for certain. Whatever happens to this colony, we're going to have to deal with it on our own. Returning to Earth is not an option. I'll answer however I can. I can't say for certain, but all my data suggests that Earth has experienced a massive calamity. I don't know what happened, but something must have gone horribly wrong. I'm not sure there's an Earth to go back to. The Earth Directorate's frigate accounts for half of our military forces. 2 years ago, that frigate disappeared while returning to Earth. We haven't heard a word back. Without the Directorate's frigate, our military forces are barely capable of maintaining control over this colony. I couldn't risk this news getting out. Before you, the 2 people in this colony who knew the truth were Chairman Rockwell and I. I had every intention of telling you the truth after you'd skipped the Hope to Tartarus. Unfortunately, Phineas Wells chose that moment to start a riot. Not a word. We received our last message 3 years ago. Our every attempt at reaching out to Earth has been met with absolute silence. Yes, we do have a long road ahead of us. But I have faith in you. The service you've done for this colony is nothing short of extraordinary. You're the reason I'm still standing here today. The board will survive because of you. And as the board goes, so goes Halcyon. It's time we carried out the program. I trust I can count on your support, Captain. I support your decision wholeheartedly. You've proven yourself the most capable leader in the colony. Now more than ever before, Halcyon needs strong leadership and a steady guiding hand. I look forward to serving as your adjutant. We're on our own now. Earth isn't coming to save us, so we're going to have to save ourselves.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The riots in Tartarus ended in a total victory for the board. Without any significant threats to challenge their power, the board asserted their control over the colony. The lifetime employment program began immediately, and the people of Halcyon did exactly what they were expected to do. They obeyed. Sophia Akande converted the labyrinth from a prison to a processing center. She jettisoned the original colonists out of the Hope and transformed the ship into a massive storage facility. One by one, the workers of Halcyon surrendered themselves to the program. They arrived with their families and their friends, their colleagues and their neighbors, and then, one by one, they marched into their stasis chambers. As the workers of Halcyon slept in their hibernation chambers, their settlements became ghost towns, left behind by the board to be reclaimed by nature. Only Byzantium remained, a shining beacon of civilization in an otherwise abandoned colony. The people of Byzantium spent the rest of their days gorging themselves on their stockpile of resources. As for the workers of Halcyon, they never felt the effects of the collapse. They never felt anything at all. The board's focus on Byzantium closed the door on much of Sanjar's civil liberties movement. As the last few townships withered away, MSI had little room to grow. Ever the savvy businessman, however, Sanjar pivoted and established Stellar Bay as the colony's supplier of luxury seafood. Catering to the elite, MSI was allowed to continue operations as a member of the Halcyon board, and became more successful than Sanjar could ever have dreamed. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together. Over the years, the ruins of Edgewater caused irreversible environmental damage to the landscape of Emerald Vale, owing largely to the presence of toxic compounds in the town's building materials. As for Edgewater's former workers, their remains provided a source of nourishment for the region's fauna, leading to an explosion in the sprat population. While the Groundbreaker remained mechanically stable, the changing times forced Junmei Tennyson to make some difficult calls on behalf of her community. The work of maintaining independence was an uphill climb, and she found herself caving to bad faith compromises with the board. Time will tell if the Groundbreaker can endure. As smaller settlements were swallowed up and their workers drafted into the lifetime employment program, Byzantium continued to thrive. While its citizens lived in decadence and extravagance, a small cadre of scientists worked to solve the nutrition crisis that threatened Halcyon. No one else much noticed the townships that disappeared from the map, or the luxuries that slowly lost their luster year by year. Even the Gorgon asteroid, though a distant enigma to most of Halcyon, felt the aftershocks of your actions. Olivia and Minnie Ambrose worked together to cure the marauders Adrena Time had created. Through their partnership as scientist and administrator, they discovered the harmony that had eluded them as mother and daughter. And through years of patience and effort, they discovered the means to wean Halcyon from the scourge of Adrena Time. Their work afforded them an enviable status among Byzantium's elite. It was a bittersweet reward, especially as the townships they had saved were rounded up as part of the lifetime employment program. In spite of everything, the Gorgon asteroid remained a sobering reminder of the potential for progress and disaster in humanity's most ambitious efforts. The truth about Rizzo Spectrum Brown was buried in the abandoned ruins of their old distillery. The company designed a new drink using the rancid harvests from the old purpleberry orchards and a dangerous amount of brown food coloring. This second launch of Spectrum Brown was sold in Byzantium at an exorbitant price. It was incredibly popular. The death of her sister left Ruth Bellamy disillusioned. She eventually lost interest in Byzantine culture and spent more and more time alone with her memories of Belinda. She only emerged out of isolation to speak out against the Lifetime Employment Program. Her opinions earned the contempt of the elite. She was last seen departing from Byzantium in a private craft. No one has heard from her since. The Lifetime Employment Program led to a boom in the Aetherwave industry as more and more Byzantines demanded entertainment. With the absence of Ruth Bellamy, the question on everyone's mind was, who could be the next Halcyon Helen? Burbage 3001's performance during the investigation on Eridanos made it the ideal contender for Helen's replacement. Some years later, after Odeon Pictures released the brand new Burbage 3002 model, it was found mysteriously destroyed by a plasma weapon. Cedric Kincannon did not take kindly to losing the vast majority of his subordinates to hibernation. Despite the board seriously entertaining the idea of offering Sublight a seat, Cedric was nowhere to be found. Any theories that he left Halcyon entirely to begin a new life on some undiscovered asteroid with his former secretary Eileen are, of course, just theories. With the board's newly renewed grip on its seat of power, the public's increased interest in the Aetherwave industry, and the death of his primary acting rival, Spencer Woolrich expected to return to the limelight as he so rightfully deserved. Much to his chagrin, however, his roles remained few, and quickly grew fewer. As his fall from stardom solidified, Woolrich found himself reassigned to menial labor and placed in suspended animation to support the Lifetime Employment Program. It seemed that as much as he had resented her, Halcyon Helen had been all that separated Spencer from complete irrelevancy. Tossball in Halcyon changed dramatically after the Lifetime Improvement Program. With roughly half of the league's players in hibernation, existing teams were forced to merge. The upheaval caused a great deal of infighting between longtime rivals who found themselves on the same side of the tossball hump. This, in turn, led to a pronounced increase of knives during play, and a period in tossball's history known as the blood loss across the toss. Bertie Holcomb groused in private about the general fictation of tossball spectators. Once, enraged by the sight of a Byzantine seated in the front row with a fancy drink, Bertie leapt over the dividing wall to the stands, seized the offending beverage, and stabbed the man in the hand with its tiny umbrella garnish. New laws against this infraction were created after the game. Bertie Holcomb would live forever in the annals of tossball history as the first player to have received a penalty for audience participation. With the situation in Eridanos taken care of, and with Byzantium's sphere of influence rapidly expanding, attention on the Prophet of Profitability's productivity seminars multiplied 100-fold. High-rungers all over Halcyon flocked to Eridanos and its newly opened Productivity Expansion Reserve. The Prophet herself remained at the forefront of her discipline, until a violent encounter with a rival spy. Actually, no more than a curious fan saw her fade into the background for the remainder of her days. As the board reasserted control over Halcyon, Felix came to realize that his life as an upstart rebel had come to an end. The board's victory crushed any hope for a grand revolution across Halcyon. And so Felix, once again, found himself without a purpose in life. And so, disillusioned with his former boss and with nowhere left to go, Felix left his crew without saying goodbye. He was never heard from again. As a reward for his part in her courageous rescue, the adjutant invited the vicar known as Max to become one of the leaders of the Order of Scientific Inquiry. But Max had no interest in serving any organization, let alone the OSI, which he knew would never tolerate his heretical theories. Instead, he attempted to minister to the people of Byzantium. They rejected his ideas, being far too satisfied with their own material comforts. Disillusioned, Max gave up and left the city. He was never heard from again. Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker, and Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed. As the board began to roll out their lifetime employment program, Parvati was increasingly plagued by dreams of freezing to death, and rarely left their shared quarters. Stymied by dwindling resources, Junlei struggled to keep the Groundbreaker afloat. Their relationship couldn't survive the strain. Parvati moved into crew quarters and found work servicing water pumps in hydroponics. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, an MSI subsidiary of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. Adjutant Sophia Akande was instrumental in executing the lifetime employment program. Following the death of Chairman Rockwell, Sophia Akande served as the loyal adjutant to her former freelancer, now the most powerful person in Halcyon. With Halcyon's workers suspended in a state of hibernation, starvation and chaos are problems of the past. The lifetime employment program succeeded in its goals, but that success came at a price. The Halcyon of today is nothing at all like the colony of yesteryear. Power remains concentrated in Byzantium, but all the colony's resources serve the lifestyle of the elite, thereby transforming Halcyon into one of the smallest and most exclusive colonies in the system. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? You brought an end to the chaos on Tartarus and proved yourself the most capable leader left in the colony. With Sophia Akande as your adjutant, you returned in triumph to Byzantium. All of Halcyon was yours. In time, you demonstrated a talent for leadership that far surpassed your predecessor, Chairman Rockwell. With your steady hand, you guided Halcyon through the turbulent years to follow and helped ensure the colony's survival. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.